Honda Civic Type R. This is a 5-door hatch that started production on 2017 and ended its production on 2021. It was manufactured at Swindon, England, where most of the Type Rs were made, except that the factory shut down this year. So going forward, other Type Rs will be manufactured elsewhere. The FK8 is the first version of the Type R that we ever get in the United States. Yes, there was the Acura Integra Type R, but currently I'm talking about Honda. The Type R weighs around 3,100 pounds. It goes from 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds flat. It does a quarter mile in 13.7 seconds with a top speed of 105.9 miles per hour. Braking wise, it can brake from 60 to 0 miles per hour in 99 feet. It produces 1.01 lateral Gs on a figure 8. Combined fuel economy is about 25 miles to the gallon. From 2020 onwards, the Type R had a refresh. Brakes were now 2-piece rotors. Honda sensing was added to the car, adding lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control. Suspension was improved. Shift knob was changed. It now had an Alcantara shift boot and steering wheel. And finally, the fake front bends were eliminated and changed. As for engine, it has a 2-liter 4-cylinder, single turbo Honda V-Tec engine. It produces 306 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, all driven through the front wheels. The engine has an aluminum block and head. The crankshaft and the connecting rods are forged. The valves are sodium filled. It has a red line of 7,000 RPM and Honda's reliability. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. The interior of this car is gorgeous from any part that you see it, any angle that you look at it. Most of it, it's red. That looks really good with the outside of the car. The predominating material here is Alcantara, which screams motor racing. All Type Rs have only one transmission option, that is manual transmission, as you can see here the 3 pedals on the underside of the car. The shifter is crisp, mechanical, and non-rubbery. All Type Rs come with manually adjustable bucket seats. They are red, they have Alcantara, and they hold you in place real good on the twisties. They're very comfortable as well. Steering wheel is Alcantara. It's very nice to touch. It's a very grippy material that helps you on the twisties. Right here you can see the nannies that Honda added with the 2020 and 2021 model. First, it has collision control. Here is traction control to turn it off, and finally it has lane keep assist. This is the last generation Honda infotainment system. It's a bit on the laggier side compared to newer Honda infotainment system, but it gets the job done. At least in this one, they gave a volume knob. Beginning in the Type Rs, they did not have volume knobs, and you had to go to all the volume settings in the touchscreen itself. Apart from that, it comes with Apple Music. Parking brake is electronic, and I wish it had a manual brake system. Here you can change your driving modes. When you turn on the car, it starts in Sport, but you can always change it to Comfort or Plus R. Basically, when you change the modes, the dampers stiffen up if you go into Sport or Plus R. The steering stiffens up and the throttle is more responsive as you go from Sport and Plus R. The Type R is very practical and has great cargo space. With the back seats up, you have about 25.7 cubic feet of cargo space. With the back seats down, you have about 46.2 cubic feet of cargo space, which is very good. Also, you have this shade here to protect from others seeing what you have in the back. For body, when compared to a regular Civic, this has fender flares that make the Type R 3.1 inches wider. As for exterior looks, Honda decided to go very aggressive with the FK8. This car turns heads everywhere you go. The Type R has this Japanese Gundam-like aesthetics that I really like. The Type R came with cast alloy wheels from the factory. They were black with a red pinstripe. This was the only color option, except in the Limited where you get BBS forged wheels. Brakes were 4-pot Brembos in the front and 1-pot in the back. Continental Sport Contact 6 summer high-performance tires came on all Type Rs. In the rear of the car there's a diffuser that Honda says it's functional by reducing drag by smoothly flowing air away from the car. Also it has this gnarly 3-tip exhaust. As for the massive wing on the back, it is completely functional and produces about 66 pounds of downforce at 124 miles an hour. The front hood scoop channels air into the wheel wells in order to feed the brakes with cold air. It creates some downforce as well, according to Honda. The underbody of the car is mostly covered up to create a flat surface to improve airflow under the car and reduce lift. Front air brakes also channel air into the wheel wells to cool off the brakes. These air vents just between the splitter and the car body channels air into the underside of the body to reduce drag and to increase downforce. The splitter creates an air curtain to channel air from the front to the side smoothly and continues to the back with a side splitter that also channels air away from the car smoothly. So let's talk about how the car drives. Starting with the driver position. You see it very low on the car and it gives you a lot of control of the car and it's a very comfortable seating position. Is the car uncomfortable or comfortable on the road? Well, surprisingly for a sports car, it's very comfortable on the road. If you have it on comfort mode, the springs adjust to a way that absorb all road irregularities. Except that if you take a really big pothole or the changes in the road are very aggressive, then you will feel them and will be uncomfortable since the wheels are 20-inch with 30 profile tires. The shifter feels very mechanical and very analog. It gives you a sense of control of the car that automatic cars don't give you. Steering depends on the mode. If you have it on Plus R, it's a little bit too heavy for me, but I think Sport is the best way for steering. Apart from that, you can feel the road through the steering wheel very nicely, and all the changes in the road, you will feel them through the steering wheel. The car feels fast and light. It's incredible through the corners. Every time you go into a corner, you have to relearn it, because you think you're gonna go into the corner at the limit, but once you find yourself in the corner, you're gonna see that the Type R has a bigger limit than you thought of. The limited slip will grip through the twisties. It's gonna bite the road and it'll give you a lot of grip through the curves. The power band of the car is very wide. It makes power all the way through 7,000 RPM. You don't feel any flat spots or loose power at any moment in the power band. I can say that you're gonna have a lot of fun driving this car no matter if you're going fast or if you're going slow, wherever you are. It is definitely worth every penny.